All right, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Oh, come on. He just warmed you up for me. Come on, good morning.
Good morning.
All right, good. So again, my name is Jay Mastay, and as Coach mentioned, this isn't, contrary to what Coach said, I was usually the guy that was trying to orchestrate all of this. And so I actually, had to be part of building all this stuff, so I do have some background here. But prior to the last 2 years, I spent the last 35 years actually in corporate America. And so I'm not a teacher by trade, I'm not a presenter by trade, but one of the things that I used to do is for multi-$100,000, billion-dollar businesses, they would drop me in, they would give me 18 months to go in and fix it, whatever it was, whether it was a business problem, an engineering problem, a sales problem, you name it, my job was to kind of drop me in, and so I got the nickname of Mr. Fix-It. And this actually, luckily, followed me through my entire career, the last 13 years of which I spent at EMC, doing some of this work and trying to help fix and promote EMC and make it a better place to work and to generate more money. In terms of where we are and how I got here, we had to volunteer and figure out, okay, so what parts of the presentation are we interested in? And one of the ones that I was interested in was talking about teamwork. So today we're going to talk about teamwork, and we're going to start out in a pretty unique way. I want you to take the white piece of paper that you have, and this isn't an art contest, it's not a competition. I don't care how well you draw it, but I want you to sit there and start out by drawing a pig. All right, everybody knows what it looks like. All right, in your mind, draw yourself a pig, and I'm going to give you 4 minutes to draw your pig. All right, do your own work, right? No chit-chatting. Now the football guys are comparing notes already in the middle. So, if your pig is drawn towards the top part of the paper, you have a tendency to be positive and optimistic. Towards the middle, tendency to be a realist. Towards the bottom, you are a pessimist or tend to be pessimistic. There used to be a cartoon way back when, Gulliver's Travels, and there was a cartoon in there called Glum. And Glum his favorite line was, "We'll never make it, we're gonna die." If the pig is facing left, left, tendency to believe in tradition. Facing right, tendency to be innovative and active. Facing forward or front, tendency to be direct, enjoy playing the role or could play the role of devil's advocate on your team. Facing facing front, just talked about that. If your pig has lots of details, right, you have a tendency to be analytical, right? Lots of thinking, lots of thought goes into what you end up doing, right? If there's only a few details, right? Tendency to be emotional, right? With all 4 legs showing, tendency to be secure, right? Less than 4 legs, insecure, right? With large ears, you're a good listener, right? And with a long tail, it indicates how intelligent you are. All right, so how much of the personality profile actually fits you? Be honest. If you thought it did pretty well, put your hands up. If you thought it was kind of in the middle, give me your hands. If you thought it wasn't even close, give me your hands. All right? So now the funny thing is, why start out a presentation on teamwork talking about a personality profile? Because all our personalities are different, right? And we have to deal with multiple personalities. Why else? Different personalities affect the team dynamic, but why would I talk about you, right? Why would I focus this part on you? All right. You don't think about your own personality? Yep. A lot of this has to do with knowing yourself, right? The more you know about yourself, right, the better you are at being able to be a good teammate, a good friend, a good husband, a good spouse, etc. The more you can fit in. Now, it seems funny to kind of start out talking about me when this is all about, right, we and us, right? But opportunities where you have the opportunity to learn more and more about yourself makes you more confident internally, right? That allows you to sit there and go outward, right, to be able to help people. And it also, feeling comfortable and comfortable with yourself, allows you to stop forgetting about me and start focusing on we. All right. I'm going to give you the answers to some of these, right, as opposed to teasing you out. But, you know, a simple definition, right, for teamwork is a group of people working together to achieve a common goal. Teams are everywhere, regardless of whether or not you're in the classroom, whether you're in corporate America, whether you're playing a sport, right? Teamwork is everywhere. And in order to sit there and survive, I would kind of posit or put out to you that you need to be good at teamwork. Now, I'm sure some of you are saying, but coach, right, I'm playing for a sports team. Of course I'm a good teammate and I'm good at teamwork. Well, we understand what a team is, but what is teamwork? And I would almost bet that if I were to go around the room and have you write down your definition of teamwork, you would all give me something different. Not wrong, but different. Right? And that too is also really important. Right? Because it's those differences that actually help to make a team what it is. Could you imagine how boring it would be if everybody on the team was just like you? Or played just like you? Now, in some ways, that would probably look pretty cool, right? But what happens if you were playing basketball and everybody on the team was my height, 5'10", right? Played guard, right? Could shoot three-pointers but couldn't beat anybody to the hoop because I wasn't quick enough. And you had a team that was all like that. Right? Might be fun, might be a little boring, probably a little challenging, right? But it's our differences that help to make the team strong. So I actually want to create a mantra. Right? We talked about, I think Coach Emily talked about what a mantra was, but one of the things that I want you to focus on, right, is teamwork is less about me and more about we. Right? So with me. Teamwork is less about and more about we. Right? Everybody got it? Internalize it because we're coming back to it. All right, so why is teamwork so important? What's the big deal? Any thoughts? Why does everybody make such a big deal about teamwork? Don't need it. Yep. If you don't work together, you can't win. In fact, I would go one step further and say that if you can't work together, not a whole heck of a lot is going to get done. Right? I love this quote, right, by Thomas Edison, right, when asked, you know, why he had a team of 21 assistants. Right? If I could solve all the problems myself, I would. Here's one of the smartest guys of the 20th century, and for him, it was all about figuring out how he takes it to the next level through using other people and surrounding himself with people who thought about, believed in what he was doing, and helped him to sit there and achieve what he was able to achieve. Let's talk a little bit about teamwork and friends. Right? If it were possible, how many of you guys would have a team totally full of your friends? Everybody that you got along with, everybody that you wanted to work with, right? Given a choice of teammates, right? What would you do? Yes? All right. Jack, you put your hands up first. Why? No problems on the team. No conflicts. Right? Why? What would make? What makes all of that stuff easier? There's a chemistry that works with the team, right? There's a lot of people who you've already gotten to know. I heard, what'd you say?
You can communicate better with your friends.
Communicate better with your friends. Why? What is it about your friends that makes it easier to work with them on a team? You can, I'm sorry, I missed the end of it. You can talk to them, and it won't hurt their feelings. You want to work harder for them. Why? What's the flip side of that? Because they're going to work harder for you. Right? I would probably sit there and suggest to you that one of the reasons that you'd like to have all your friends is you've already built up a level of trust with them. Right? I know you've got my back. I know that if I pass you the ball, you're not going to bobble it. I know that if I sit there and expect you to cover the goal, you've got it done. And oh, by the way, if you fall down, I'm going to be there for you. Now, I will also suggest to you that having a team full of your friends, right, isn't a panacea. Doesn't guarantee you anything. In fact, some of the best sports teams, right, have been on teams where there's been an amazing amount of conflict, right? And one great example is Shaq, right, and Kobe Bryant. Couldn't get along together to save their lives. Won the NBA championship. Right? So sure it is. Right? It's definitely easier to have friends, right, that are part of the team. But on the flip side, why is this teamwork thing so hard? What's the big deal? Got to deal with people's ego. Yep. I heard the word conflict before, right? There's lots of conflict that comes into the team. Difference of opinion. Right? How about some of the people don't work as hard as I work? Some of the people don't have the same goals that I have. Some of the people aren't aspiring to go and play at the next level. Some people are just in for the social aspect of being part of a team. Right? Teamwork is hard no matter where you are. And when you get into the corporate world or when you get up into college and things start to get a little bit more challenging for you, right, it's no different than what you're going through right now. In fact, it gets worse as you get into the corporate world because it stops being more about, wins and losses, and it starts to be about money. Right? As I'm sure you guys already know at this age, right, money makes the world go round, but it also, it kind of changes people's personalities. This is really, really hard stuff. One of the reasons that I would suggest to you is that some people just plain old can't be part of a team. Don't want to be part of the team. Why? Because it's all about me. And as I said, we need less me and more we. Right? How many of you guys have been part of a team or an organization where, I'm the captain, I'm a senior, I'm, Joe Jock or whatever, and it's got to be about me, what I want. Right? Not about the team. Yep, you guys can throw your hands up for everybody that's been part of that. And I'll bet you can sit there and say that was probably one of the most miserable experiences you've had or one of the worst teams that you've been on. You might have won stuff. You might have gotten to championships. You might have actually made playoffs. You might have actually had a winning season. But I'll probably bet that it was pretty miserable. And honest, if people learned the fact that being part of a team, regardless of whether it's here in high school, whether it's in the classroom, whether it's in college, whether it's in your corporate life or your personal life outside of it, right? If you will turn around and sit there and figure out that it really is, right, less about and more about, you guys are going to do great. So, how many of you guys have done, and played, the game tug of rope, right? Everybody, right? And at the end of it, when you sit there and you finish and you've pulled the scarf over the line or you've got the other team sitting in the mud, right, or in the water, do you really sit there and walk around and say, hey, it was Joe that made all that stuff happen? Right? You might be walking around giving each other high fives and everything like that, but you don't care who it was. You succeeded because everybody got behind the rope and everybody pulled as hard as they could. Whether that person was somebody who weighed 35 pounds or whether it was a 250-pound individual that was anchoring the back part of the rope. Everybody pulled. And the feeling that you got was success, joy, wonder, all those great things that come with being part of a team. So I want to talk to you about the next level. Right? Let's talk about what some of the attributes are that are part of being a high-performance team. Not just any team, right? Because as Coach pointed out, we're not just looking for any team. We want to sit there and see you guys, right, have championship expectations. So let's talk a little bit about the attributes that go along, right, with what I've experienced in my career about championship expectations and high-performing teams. I'll give you a second to read my cartoon. Not even a smile? Nobody even cracked a smile? Come on. Right? How many of you guys have had that coach, that teacher? Right? One of the attributes of a high-performing team is where the collective team, right, really is for the leadership. It really is the leadership of the team. Right? So participative leadership is all about the coach, the captains, right, giving out the ability for people to participate, to be part of the leadership team, to make a difference. Right? It's not about barking out orders and having somebody follow you. Right? What it's about is getting everybody on the same page, getting everybody to work hard, and all of a sudden now it's not one person making decisions, it's the whole team that's making decisions for the benefit of the team. Right, number 2, a sense of purpose. Why are we here? Right? What's the expectations? Now, I'll sit there and say to you that I would probably even bet that if I were to go to your teams, mine included, and ask, how are we going to measure ourselves? What's success for us this year? I bet on my soccer team I'd probably get 20 different answers. That's not a good thing. I'm not saying that that is. Right? But what happens when everybody is focused on the exact same thing? Right? You could be a terrible team, or I shouldn't say it that way, you could be a team that doesn't have a lot of expectations in terms of wins and losses for the year, and you can be an unbelievably successful team. Right? And I'd say that that happens when everybody knows what it is that we're trying to do, how we're going to measure ourselves, and what things look like when we sit there and say we were successful. How many of your coaches, after a losing season, get up at the end of the year, stand up at the podium and sit there and say, you know, I think we had a really, really successful season? And the people in the audience are all kind of going, geez, coach, I'm not really sure. We were 2-16. Right? And the answer is that the expectation that the coach had was different than the expectation that all of you had. And I would kind of go one step further and say that as seniors, playing your last year, for those of you who are seniors, your expectations of the team are probably a lot different than some of your teammates. It's my last year, I want to go out on top. It's my last year, I want to win a state championship. It's my last year, I want to win an individual medal. It's my last year, I want to sit there and be state champion. Really, really high-performing teams are all on the same page. They know what it is that they want to do, and they're all willing hard to work to get to it. We spent a lot of time yesterday talking about communication, right? Whether it was part of Coach Boucher's presentation, whether it's part of Coach Todd's presentation, whether it was Coach Emily's whole entire section on communication skills, right? Communication is really, really important. But how many of you have kind of sat or talked to somebody where they've gone on and they've communicated with you, but you have no idea what they said? Right? You walk away and you're talking to your friend saying, what did she just say? Yeah, you're not alone, I guarantee it. So one of the things that we're going to do is we're going to do an exercise, and if I can have a little bit of help, I'd like you to actually get into teams of 2. So very quickly into teams of 2, and more importantly, what I want you to do is I want one member of the team, so you're going to have to move out into the hallways. I want you to sit down on the floor. I want you to sit back to back. Wait a minute, don't pass those out yet. I want you to sit back to back with one person facing the back of the auditorium and one person facing the front of the auditorium. Quickly, let's go, 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 go. All right, real quick, right? We have one person who's facing the stage, one person who's facing the back. The person who is facing the stage has a diagram. You are going to describe that diagram to the person who is facing backwards. The person who's facing backwards, your job is to draw exactly what your partner is telling you to draw. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time. Okay, freeze. All right, real quick. All right, we're going to hand out. We're going to flip roles, change roles. Okay, show your partner what you got. All right, if you were part of the first, if you were one of the individuals that was drawing first, all right, anybody want to show their picture? Go ahead, Jack. Go ahead, Jack. Yep. What do you got, John?
All right. This was my first picture.
Wow. Very nicely done. Who's your partner? Who's your partner? All right, anybody else? Who else? Nice. Pretty well done. Does it have to be good? No. Boom. Who is your partner? You got another one? Mike's got his. Mike's in miniature. All right. All right. What made this so tough first time through? Didn't know how to communicate. That's a very broad statement. Right? Why was it so hard? Weren't specific enough. Not enough detail kind of along the specific line.
She was telling me to use my hands for measurement.
Oh, yeah, actually a very clever strategy using, the hand sizes to describe the size of the shapes. Unfortunately, their fingers and their hands were two different sizes.
Our first time we messed up where the shapes were, so we decided to do it by the number.
Did it by the numbers, second time through. All right, if you drew your second drawing, right? Let's see what your second drawing looked like. Who were the drawers, some of the people that drew? All right, who wants to show theirs? What do you got? Oh, wow, you guys are almost perfect, almost right on. Right, we had a nice drawing there with some mistakes. Close. Very nice.
We're just good to you.
Right? Guys did good other than the size. I'm not sure where that was on the paper. Right. Why was it easier the second time? Or I'm assuming, I'm making an assumption, was it easier the second time? No. Why not?
She was more vague and
No, I think that the picture was more complex.
Ah, the picture was more complex and she was more vague. Right? Are you guys friends?
Yes.
They're friends, right? Who had mentioned that when you're on a team with your friends, right? It's easier because you always get along. All right, think about that one. What else? Easier. Who thought it was easier? Who thought it was harder second time around? You guys obviously did. Why was it harder? Blake's not a very good artist. Was it close? Wow. Threw my teammate right under the bus on that one. All right. As the person drawing, right, how did you feel or how did you communicate to the person that was giving you instructions as to what was missing in their description, or how were you feeling first of all as the person who was drawing?
I was way more stressed out drawing than I was when I was explaining.
You were more stressed out drawing than you were when you were explaining. Explaining was more stressed. All right. So again, now we start getting into the communication component and we'll bring it all the way back. All right. When you're on the field, you can talk, you can sit there and have stuff coming out of your mouth, but if it's not giving your teammates the information that they need to get into the right position or do the right thing, you're just blowing hot air. Right? And high performance teams are you'll not only hear chatter out on the field of play, you'll not only hear support from people who are on the sidelines, your teammates helping you, but they're going to be more specific about what they're talking about. right? If you're serving in volleyball and all of a sudden the ball goes out, they're not going to just sit there and turn around and you say, nice try. It's, hey, missed it by about 2 inches. Long, right, by about a foot. Right, you're on the field, playing football and you're on the line and somebody wants you to sit there and slide over, right? It's not slide right, it's slide right a foot. Slide right 6 inches. Slide right into the gap. Right, so we always talk about, as coaches, we want you to be more communicative. But we don't want you just walking out there and just talking about anything. Right? And teams that are really, really good, if you go to watch and you could actually listen to, right, some of the really good college teams, or you can listen to the professionals talking, they're not just talking about stuff. They're helping each other out by giving them the information that they need to be successful. Well, how do you know the information that you need to be successful? If you're on the other side receiving the communication and somebody says, move right, how do you get it? You ask a question. How far do you want me to go? How often when we go, we hear move right, and everybody shifts over and somebody goes, up too far, I want you to move back. Well, how far back? Right? So it's not important, it's not just important that you're communicating, but you have to be clear and concise. Right? And that's the basic purpose of that little exercise. Next component of high-performance teams are its shared responsibility. Teams that are really, really good, doesn't matter whether I'm on one side or the other, I'm always helping. It's not just my job, right? It's respect for everybody on the team. How often do we as players or coaches sit there and say, oh, well, he's not a starter or she's not a starter, so they're not important to the success of my team? I would argue that most of you guys at some point in time over your 4 years here, or 3.5, right, have done that. But what happens when that substitute, right, who's not very good, you're needed to step on the field because there was an injury or somebody can't make it into one of their events? What's the reaction on the team? I can tell you what it is on my soccer team. Don't pass the ball to so-and-so. She's going to screw it up and we're going to lose it. Right? But if everybody took the responsibility and shared the responsibility for making sure that our weakest link was just as strong and just as competent as our best player, and it wasn't about me and it was about we, I guarantee you would have a better team. Because when you least expect it, that person who might be the practice player whose job is to sit there and push the starter to do better, right? Or it's the gymnast who has to sit there and get up there and in a meet, right? Somebody gets hurt and you have to step in and fill in for somebody on a particular apparatus. Or whether it's a backup goalie who has to step into the game at an important point in time. If you haven't supported them, if you haven't shared the responsibility about moving them up, right, and making them better, everybody's reaction on the team is going to be, uh-oh, we're in trouble. And then I guarantee you what's going to happen is the same thing that Coach Emily talked about yesterday, is your shoulders are going to slump, right? Somebody's going to make a mistake. You're going to kick the dirt and kick the field, right? And you're not going to be sit there and up in a good position. You're not going to move. So everybody taking responsibility and everybody valuing every single member on the team. Not just the starters, not just the superstar, but everybody. That's what high-performance teams are all about. This one is a big one. High-performance teams, whether it's in sports or at the corporate level, view growth and change, right, as a positive. Get used to change, because the only thing that's going to be consistent in your life is going to be change. So the coach sits there and says, we're going to have a new formation this year, and everybody goes, damn, I was really good at the old formation. I knew exactly what I was doing in the old formation. And so what do? They fight it. Don't want to do it, right? Not going to do it. It's not going to work. right? I'm going to start talking to all my friends, right? Really, really good teams sit there and say, okay, cool. I understand that this change is for the better. Let's give it a shot. Let's figure out how we do this the best, and they're going to work through it. All of a sudden, somebody on the team gets really, really good. They turn into their own. And now all of a sudden displaces one of the starters that's on the team. What's the reaction? Right? That person should get all kinds of accolades for growing, but what does the team do? Or what does the person who just got replaced do? Damn coach. Right? He doesn't deserve to be there. He didn't work hard. This is my spot. I'm a senior. Right? That's my position. Well, if it's your position, work your tail off and get back into the starting lineup. Right? Don't go walking around, sitting there and starting the gossip and saying, oh, you know, we got to go, it's really bad, it's no good. Right? That's what happens on teams. That's what tears down teams. And I don't care if everybody's your friend, right, that's on the team. As soon as one person sits there and pops somebody out because they grew and they got better and they worked hard, resentment filters in, right? And even the best of friends all of a sudden now start splitting. Right? I asked you one of the questions, why was teamwork so hard? This is part of the reason the teamwork is so hard. This is why corporations and companies and even major sports spend lots and lots of money. Billion-dollar industry teaching people how to be part of a team. And at the end, I'll sit there and be honest with you, even in my corporate career, if we improved 30%, that was a lot. Because teams need to be less about and more about. Talk about game faces, right? Larry Bird, I happen to agree with Coach, but you know, since I figured his whole presentation was going to be filled with Larry Bird, I decided to go to the West Coast. And some of the greats, and in this particular Kobe Bryant, I think exhibits what it means to sit there and have focus, right, when he's on the field. Show of hands, how many of you have seen, right, either in your own games or in some other venue, players that are waiting to get on the field texting or looking at their phones? Couple more, right? Are they focused and in the game? Nope. I'd argue with you, right, that not only the people that are on the field, right, but high performance teams, everybody is focused on the field. When you get to the field, you're in the zone. And for the next 45 minutes, the next 90 minutes, however long your contest is, right, the expectation and what high performance teams do is they are there. They are in the moment. They are focusing on everything that's happening on the field. They're focusing on everything that's going on around them. And if they're on the field, right, they're tuned in. They're not thinking about what I'm doing on Saturday night. They're not thinking about the party that's a week from Sunday. They're not thinking about whether or not mom and dad are going to take me out to a restaurant after I finish the game, right? They're focused on that play, that moment, that instance, and they don't tune out. And that concentration is a skill, and you have to build it. And the sooner you start building it, right, the better off you're going to be, not only in your athletic career, but also in your corporate careers. All right. First of all, a quick quiz. What does that say? First one who figures it out, put your hand up. Got it? Ahead of the pack, very good. Nicely done. Ahead of the pack. Everybody got it? Little bit of levity. Okay, all right. What I want you to do is I want you to get back into your pairs. You don't need to spread out, but I want you to find, right, a place where you can actually sit down with your partner. There's a grid that I gave you, which has a bunch of numbers on it. So get with your partner, grab a spot on the floor somewhere, sit down. You probably want something to be able to write on, so your notebook, so you can actually write on it. All right, here's how this is going to work. in front of you, you should have grid A. I think I have a picture of grid A. All right. On grid A are the numbers from 00 to 99. They are randomly displaced through the grid. It's a 10 by 10 grid. When I say go, when I give you a number, I want you to sit there and find that number on the grid, and I want you to put a little slash through it. I then want you to find the next consecutive number. So if I happen to give you the number 23, you're going to look through the grid, find number 23, put a slash to it, then start looking for 24. Once you find 24, you're going to put a slash through it and find 25. If you happen to find 25 before you find 24, you're not allowed to put a slash through it. You have to go consecutively. All right, I'm going to give you 1 minute to find as many numbers as you possibly can consecutively. If you are not ready, put your hand up. All right, let me get my timer going here.
This is all grid A, right?
I'm sorry?
This is all grid A.
Only in grid A. Okay, 1 minute on the timer, and the number is, and if I give you a number, I'm sorry, you guys are cheating already. If I give you a number that happens to wrap, so let's say I gave you the number of 95, you would find 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 00, 01. Everybody understand? Okay, keep going as many as you can get. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, pens up. All right, count up the number of slashes. Count up how many you got. All right, how many of you got 20 or more? How many did you get? No, 20 or more. Anybody? 15 or more. 10 or more. How many did you get? I'm sorry? You got 15. That's 11. 14. 10. All right. Now, I want you to sit there and with your partner, we're going to do the same exercise. I'm going to give you a number, except this time you're going to have one partner who is going to be the harasser and one person who is going to be looking for the numbers. Okay, here's the rules of the harasser. You may not touch the person who is looking for the numbers. You may not block their vision. You may not touch their pen in any way, shape, or form. But what you can do is you can randomly shout out numbers. You can sing a song. You can tell them a joke. You can 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, time. Pens down. All right. Okay, switch roles. Again, you cannot interfere with their vision. You cannot touch them or their pen or their paper. 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, time. Put your pens down. All right, count them up. All right. Losers pay up. Losers pay up. 5 push-ups, let's go. Come on. 5 push-ups, let's go. Come on, losers pay up. Come on, winners can torture them and make sure they count them, make sure they do good ones. All right, once you're done with your push-ups, go back to your seats. Quick, quick. All right. Okay, guys, back on me. All right. How many of you guys did better the second time than the first time? So when you were under pressure, you actually did better. Wow. All right. So what helped you when you were under stress? What were you doing? What was one of your strategies? Why did you do better? Why do you think you did better? John, yep, good. Didn't want to do the push-ups. He's motivated. Oh, when you saw the number afterwards, you'd actually put your thumb on the next one. Good idea. Good strategy. What else? You kept thinking you wanted to be here, a little bit of competition, right? You wanted to rub it in. Did you beat her? Did you beat her? There you go. All right, what else? Right, didn't want to lose. Right, I suggest to you, some of you, how many of you actually kept saying, if you were writing it down, somebody was harassing you, how many kept saying the number that you were looking for internally, your self-talk? Saying it out loud, okay, that works too, doesn't matter. What other strategies were you guys using? How were you blocking out the player? Oh. Blocking out the nonsense, that we said, Mike? Yep. How did you do it though? How did you block it out? Oh, you didn't. All right. Just as an aside, as I mentioned, concentration is actually a skill, right, that you can continue to learn. All right. And this is an exercise that you guys can do over and over with your brothers and sisters, with friends in your team, right? You can actually use this to continue to help build that level of concentration. Right? The idea is that when you get on the field and you step over that line, you want to be there in the moment for however long it takes for that game to finish, from the start of the whistle, and actually I'll even say once you step on the field, when you get to the field, right, from that point in time when the coach says, hey, time to start warming up, till the time the final whistle goes, you need to be there. And you need to help your teammates to get there as well. Right. This one is kind of unique. And as they were doing the research for this, one of the things that they found out is that high-performance teams prepare for opportunities. They prepare for that point in time when they realize that they can go for the jugular and they can take an advantage of an opportunity on the field or in their competition. Some coaches approach this differently. Some coaches will have you do shadow play. Some coaches will have you do exercises that presuppose, right, that this is there. Some coaches call it transitioning from offense to defense, and you'll spend a lot of time working on that. Right, in football, what happens when you're on defense and all of a sudden we intercept a pass or we collect a fumble? Everybody goes from offense or from defense onto offense. Those transitions happen all the time. There's an opportunity, even if you're an individual, right, who's competing in a sport, and all of a sudden you sense in your teammate, or in your opponent, I should say, that, uh-oh, I've got her, or I've got him. It's my opportunity, I've got to go. High-performance teams practice those things. It's not just mental, it's also physical. It's the ability to kind of get everybody on the team at the same time to recognize the fact that we've got an opportunity to take advantage of something that our opponents just did, and they go for it. And the better teams that are out there practice those things. They don't just rely on chance, because it's important, especially if you're on a team of 11, for everybody to sit there and move in. Everybody has to kick in at the same time, and that's what makes it so difficult, and that's one of the reasons that the high-performing teams actually practice this and don't take it for chance. Okay, last one. And this is one that, coaches try and do all the time. They try and look at the talent that's on the team, and they try and to fit the talent to the positions and the needs of the team. Everybody, I suggest to you that everybody that makes your team is there for a reason. You might not know it, you might not need to know it, but everybody is there. One of your challenges as leaders is to figure out, not necessarily or only by asking questions, but to figure out what it is that that player brings to the team that they do better than anybody else, and figure out, with the help of your coach, or even on your own, how we maximize that. And this is where the egos start kicking in. I'll give you an example from the soccer field. Player, right, who's a freshman, is on the team, happens to take penalty kicks better than anybody on the team. But the senior captain has been taking penalty kicks for the last 3 years. In practice, this freshman kicks this person's butt every single time they go to compete, right, for the penalty kick spot. Referee blows the whistle. Who do you think runs up to the ball 9 out of 10 times? I'd almost venture 10 out of 10 times unless the coach says something differently. Senior captain. Is that maximizing the opportunity for us to win? Is that maximizing the talents on our team? I would suggest to you no. Right? Because in that case, they're not thinking about the fact that this is about we. Right? Teamwork is less about, come on, we've been saying it loud enough, now I need you guys to kind of internalize it. Right? Teamwork is less about me and more about me. Got it. All right. You guys all should have colored groups. I want you to get in, let me explain what's going to go on. Actually, I will read the directions. Okay, here we go. You're a member of a space crew scheduled to rendezvous with the mothership on the lighted surface of the moon. However, due to a mechanical difficulty, your own ship was forced to land at a spot 200 miles from the rendezvous point. During re-entry and landing, much of the equipment on board your ship was damaged, and since survival depends on reaching the mothership, the most critical items valuable must be chosen for the 200-mile trip that you are about to undertake with your crew. 15 items are going to be listed on a sheet of paper that we're going to hand you, right, that are intact and undamaged after the landing. Your task is to individually rank them in terms of their importance for your crew to allow you to reach the rendezvous point. I want you to, there'll be a sheet that will look like this that we're going to hand out to you. All right? I want you to individually rank the items from 1 to 15. Right? In the far left-hand column, right, which is your individual team, your individual ranking. All right, so we can pass out the sheets. You guys can do this individually sitting at your chairs right now. Again, your job is to rank the 15 items in order of importance, the most important item being number 1, the least important item being number 15. All right, so everybody's got from 1 to 15 in your own column in the far left. All right, I want you to get together according to your groups. So the color of your name tag, there's a color that's there. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1, time. All right, I want you to stay, all right, in your groups, but just kind of sit near each other in an area, right? Actually, if you guys want to stay down or actually pull down closer, that would be even better. All right, so you should have filled out column number 1, which is your guests individually. You should have filled out column number 2, right, which is the team ranking. And so your team right now, column number 2 should look identical all the way from top to bottom. Same numbers in every line. Column number 3, you're going to fill it in. This is how NASA, the space agency, ranked the individual items. So, the box of matches, and I want you to write these in, all right? This is your 3rd column. Find the box of matches. NASA ranks it as number 15. Obviously, they're worthless. There is no oxygen on the moon. Food concentrate, number 4. 50 feet of nylon rope, number 6. Useful for scaling cliffs, tying injured people together, right? Always good to have some rope around. Parachute silk, number 8. Right? The reasoning that's there is protection from the sun's rays. 2 45 caliber pistols, number 11. Right? Think of this in terms of a possible means of self-propulsion. Right? Why can you propel yourself on the moon with these 2 pistols? Right? No gravity. Right? Pop yourself up in the air, fire the pistol. Right? Newton. Each force has an equal and opposite. Dehydrated milk, number 12. 1 case. The reason it's rated so far down, even though it's sustenance, right, is it's too bulky. Oxygen, number 1. Map of the stars, number 3, right? That'll be your primary means of navigation because the stars in the sky are almost identical on the moon as they are, right, on Earth. Number 9, self-inflating life raft. Magnetic compass, number 14th, right? 5 gallons of water, number 2. Signal flares, number 10. First aid kit, 7. Solar powered FM receiver, 5. And portable heating unit, number 13. Right, so these numbers should fill out column number 3. Anybody need more time filling out column number 3? All right, here's the tricky part, and we've got the math department to help us. All right, there's a little bit of subtraction here. I don't care about the sign, but what I want you to do is I want you to take, so let's go to the, go back 1 sheet. And I want you to take your ranking. I want you to take the higher number between your ranking and NASA's ranking, and I want you to subtract it. So if I ranked the box of matches as a 1, NASA ranked it as a 15, take the higher number, 15 minus 1 is 14. 14 will actually go in this column right here with the box of matches. If I actually ranked it as a 7 and NASA ranked it as a 3, 7, which is the higher number, which is my score, minus 3, right, is 4. 4 goes in this box right here. Everybody understand the math? All right. When you are done, come back and take your regular seat. Yeah. How many of you, in the bottom scores, how many of your column 5 total, right, your individual score was better than your column 6 total? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all right, 6. As you were going through this, right, so in the last couple days we've talked about leadership, we've talked about communication, right, we've talked about handling conflict, we've talked about things like inclusion, teamwork, body language. How many, while you were going through this, how many of you noticed the body language of your teammates? More importantly, how many of you guys as leaders made sure that everybody was heard from? Self-reflection. How many of you guys barreled in there and saying, I've got the answers and everybody's going to kind of fill it out, right, because I'm right and you guys are wrong? How many of you guys practiced what you just learned? Listening, making sure that other people were included, right? Communication skills, observe body language. I will tell you that there were some groups, and I'm not calling anybody out, that there were some people who in the group, at least while I was observing, didn't say a whole heck of a lot. More importantly, I'll say that some of the people that were in the group were dominating the conversation, and not once did they turn around and say, hey, so-and-so, what do you think? I haven't heard from you. Teamwork is more about we. when you guys go back out on the field and after this is all said and done, right, if you remember one thing, you guys got to get that through your heads. Now, on the flip side, I saw a lot of teams that were actually doing really well, right? Lots of collaboration, lots of including. People were asking questions about, hey, you know, did you take that class? Did you ever heard about this? Do you know much about this? Right? Really, really good stuff. Maximize the skills that were actually in the group as you guys went through it. All right, let's see how you did. So, if your score, and lower is better, if your individual score or your team score was 0 to 25, you guys were awesome. Any groups, 0 to 25? One off. Good. 26 to 32, above average results. In your group, did anybody have a higher score individually than team-wise? No, so actually you guys worked really well as a team. All right, average 33 to 35, any groups? 46 to 55. 56 to 70? Or you guys just are at that point in time, you don't want to show me your hands? All right. So, again, right, putting into practice, this whole exercise was putting into practice what you guys have just learned over the last couple days. Right? Some of you guys got it. Some of you guys have more work to do. I will tell you that when I do this with a group of executives, most of them don't get it either. Why? Because even as an executive, right, they didn't learn that it's more about the we than it is about the me. Right, with that, anybody know who this is? Right, really stretching way, way, way before your time. This is Lieutenant Columbo. There was actually a TV show where this person was an inspector, and his whole gig was he walked around in his trench coat and his notebook, and just as he would go up to suspects and he would ask them a bunch of questions and drive them crazy, and then just as he was about to leave, he'd stick his finger up and he'd go, and I just have one more thing. This one more thing is a little bit of a corny story, but it's a true story. All right, there was an old man who was in his late 80s, was still fairly, still fairly with it, but he had just gotten a notification that he was dying of cancer and he didn't have a lot of time to live. All right, he wasn't quite there, and his biggest regret, he was a very successful individual, and his biggest regret in life was that he had 11 children, and none of the children got along. And the way the story goes is he called his oldest son into his house, and he said, look, I want you to gather up, I've got a short amount of time, I want you to gather up all of your siblings, and I want you to come to the house, and I want you to have every one of them bring a stick that's about 1/4 inch in diameter, right? So something about like this. So, the son kind of asked a little bit of the why, and the old man said, don't worry about it, just get all your brothers and sisters, bring them to the house, and we're going to meet a week from Saturday, or whatever the time was. And so everybody shows up at the house the following Saturday, or the week after, and the old man sits there and goes to his oldest son, he says, give me your stick. He said, I want to tell you guys a story. Obviously, we've been really successful. We've had a lot of things that have gone on in our life. God has blessed us with lots of really, really great ups and downs. But it really, really kills me that none of you guys get along. And he said, this is just like this. And so he took his stick and he actually, with all the strength that he had left, he actually went and he broke the stick. Then he collected all the sticks and he tied a leather strap around the sticks, right? And he went to his biggest son, who actually worked in the construction industry, handed him the bundle of sticks, and he said, look, I want you to try and break this. And the son sat there and with all his might went, and although some of the branches, actually the sticks bent, right, couldn't break the bundle. And he said, now look, you guys know that as a family we've been struggling. We haven't been the nicest of each other. We haven't been there, and that's my fault. That's the biggest disappointment of my whole entire life. He said, but I'll tell you one thing before I actually pass on and out of this world. He said, individually, you're like one of these sticks. And even a frail old man who's dying with cancer is able to break one of these sticks. But if you stick together, there's no way that anybody can break you. Right? Regardless of whether you know it or not, every time you're part of a team, and even this team here, right, it's like your family. You have your ups and your downs. And I will almost guarantee you, right, that success as you define it as part of your team, you're going to be stronger together than you are going to be individually. And for those of you who have played on a team where the individual gets all the attention and all of a sudden kind of goes crazy, right, I will guarantee you, right, that probably wasn't the best team that you've ever been on. You might have won some games, you might have finished first in a particular event, right, but it probably wasn't a team that you're going to look back on and sit there and say, wow, I really, really remember that team, my family. So my words to you in parting are really, really simple. We've said them a couple 100,000 times, right? Teamwork is less about me, and it's more about we. Thanks, everybody.
Hello. That was really weak. Hello. Welcome. Welcome to the social media presentation. First, I want to thank all of you guys for being here. I know it's probably not what you want to do at the end of the summer, come and sit here for 10 hours, but you're doing it, and it shows the amount of responsibility that you guys have and the choice of being a captain and acting the way you are and giving us your attention. It shows a lot. So thank you for being here. First thing I need from all of you is to get on the stage and face this way. All right. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to do the spectrum activity from yesterday. Do you all remember that one? Where you put yourself in order from one side to the other depending on where you are on the spectrum? Okay. So the first question is going to be the privacy of your online profile. So when I say that, I mean how private is your Facebook account? How private is your Twitter account? How private is your Instagram account? Okay? The amount of privacy settings. So if you're super private, like you're the guy in the cabin, you don't want anybody to know what you are, what you're doing, you're on this side. If you're all out there, you're over here. So let's put yourself where you think you are on that spectrum. So these folks are very careful about how public they are, what's on the internet, and what's visible to people. These folks are kind of in the middle. They're on either side. And these folks are like, whatever. I'll post it out there. Okay, there's no right or wrong. Just keep this in mind at the end of the presentation. All right, don't go anywhere yet. The next one is going to be the frequency by which you tweet out, post, update, okay? So on this side, it's going to be you update everything from what you ate, to how delicious the meal was, to how horrible the day was, to your musings on life in general. You're all out there over here. You never tweet out anything, you're over here. So let's put yourself where that is. I don't believe this. There's no way. I'm calling shenanigans and everybody's in the middle, okay?
Yeah, thank you.
All right, own it, Dwight. Own it. There you go. You're owning it. Okay, so we're saying that only these two people are really active online. All right. These folks are in the middle, and these guys don't post at all. There's no right or wrong. Okay, last one. And this one's kind of the one people don't think about. The time between an event happening and you posting about it. So something happens that it doesn't have to be good or bad.
Is it like a cafeteria fight?
A cafeteria fight? Sure. Perhaps a bad decision somebody made, a good decision, whatever. So an event happens, and then you post about it. So over here, it's immediate. It's as it happens, you post it. Over here, you wait forever, maybe you never post it. So over here, you post it right when it happens. Over here, you maybe never post it. So over here, these folks are right out there. As soon as it happens, it's out in public. These guys, whenever, these guys, you don't, well, what happened? Okay. All right, thank you, guys. Back to our seats. Thank you. All right. It's the old Edward stare. When people are talking, I just look at them really awkwardly. It's like, Okay. Social media. Bad decisions waiting to happen. Why do you think I titled this? Any volunteers? Why do you think I made that title? Bad decisions waiting to happen. Anybody? Hand raised. Somebody give you something. Thank you, Justin. Yeah. Why do you think I labeled it Bad Decisions Waiting to Happen?
Because they're decisions that are going to be bad. They're waiting to happen.
Truly insightful. Thank you, Justin. Okay, are there good decisions you can make in social media?
Yes.
Can somebody give me an example?
This morning, I was going to be a captain, so I tweeted out that the juniors were going to be running it to inform everybody that there would still be captains.
So you used it to give information out to the team.
Right.
So it's good. It's responsible use. Anybody else have a good example? Can you hand it back to Mike? Just hand it back. Just hand it back. It's fun to use the mic.
You can use it for like positive propaganda.
Propaganda?
Yeah.
Give me an example.
Well, like how the AD has his account and like spreads like awareness of games and
Okay.
like hashtags and sports spirit and team school spirit.
So positive stuff. Okay, good. Thanks.
That was a great answer.
Okay. The bad decision part. So there's a lot of good things, right? But do people remember the good things when you do it online? When's the last time you saw a news story about a coach sending a positive tweet to another coach about a great game, right? Oh, you guys played well. Thank you so much for beating us. No, you don't see that. So there's no confusion. For Instagram, think back to the last 10 pictures you sent out on Instagram, okay? And you're gonna put 10 tally marks, either as green, yellow, or red. Green's something you feel comfortable showing anybody in this room. What's that? And no, whatever pictures you sent out on Instagram. Yeah. Yellow's something you're maybe comfortable showing some of the people here, but not everybody. And red's something you wouldn't want to show anybody in this room right now. So do just Instagram alone. We'll do just Instagram because the other one might take too long. If you can't remember, just go by memory. Okay, let's put our pencils down. Now, here's the deal. I want us all to take a leap of faith right now, and you're going to do it together. Watch this. So my girlfriend just called me in the beginning, and a good thing my phone was on because her tire, she had a flat tire. And she doesn't know how to change a tire. I tell you to teach, yeah, I know, right? I'm in trouble because I didn't go change her tire. She's going to kill me later, but I'm here though. Do me a favor, watch this. The world did not end. Oh my God, the phone's turned off. Let's all do that right now, please. Let's still do this leap of faith. Come on. And don't fake it. Don't fake it. Everybody do it. Let's all do it. Let's all do it nice and proud. Thank you. Okay, Kara's getting the shakes. You can do it, Kara. Come on. Come on. I believe in you. Yes, let's do it. Turn. Make that slide. You can do it. Yes, sir. Come on. There you go. Look. Freedom. Digital freedom. Okay. The world didn't end? The sky didn't fall? We're good? Okay. Keep those results aside for now. I want you to ponder on that. Okay. Any reds back there? No? Okay. Real quick. This is going to be a show of hands activity. Where you're going to put your hand up for each question. How many of you have a cell phone that can text, send photos, or connect to the internet? Okay, we're not in the Stone Age. Good. How many of us have a Facebook page? How about a Twitter account? How about Instagram? How many people here use Snapchat? How many people here look at Vine? Vine's still out there? Here's the question. How about MySpace? Any people still use MySpace? Oh, you guys are brave souls. I hope not. Yeah, there's some creepers on there. Okay. Would you believe 10 years ago MySpace was the most commonly used social media site? 10 years ago it was. And it was like the gathering of all creepers in the world. It was like, you might be a creep if you're on MySpace, yeah. Okay. Oh, AIM. That's going way back. That's the original of the online creepers, AIM, yeah. Yeah, we don't want to go there. Okay. This isn't a show of hands, but I'm going to ask you a question that will be a show of hands. Raise your hand if you spend at least 3 hours a day, you'd estimate 3 hours a day looking at your phone, looking on some sort of social media page. This includes text messages. Wow, 3 hours, okay. Put your hands down. How about 5 hours? It's not a bad thing, I'm just saying it's not good or bad.
It all adds up, I guess, every couple seconds.
How about 8 hours? Okay, hands down. No whole day, I hope not. How many of you text in class? Yeah, everybody. Let's all put those. JB, that's such BS. There's no way you don't do it. Okay, no, nobody believes you. How many of you had your phone taken away by me in my class?
In your class?
You're not the only one. Is somebody else? Yeah, there you go. Okay, good. All right. How many of you posted something on somebody else's page on Facebook? On somebody else's page, you posted somebody on somebody's Facebook profile. Nobody? Only one person? Now, how many people have tagged people on Twitter? Or tweet out? Yeah, okay. So you guys are much more using Twitter than Facebook. My buddy Paul, if anybody wants to work for Twitter, by the way, when you get out of college, or like out of high school rather, let me know. A buddy of mine works at Twitter in Boston, and he was asking me for teenagers interested in internships at Twitter. So if any of you are interested in that, let me know when you get near it being the end of school year, and I can hook you up with Paul Gates. He works at Twitter. So, Paul Gates. No relation to Bill. All right, we're gonna forget the last one. Okay, now the activity we just did, the red, yellow, green. Raise your hand if you had at least 2 or 3 in red. Okay. On any of them, on any of them. On your sheet, you had any red at all. Let's say any red at all. Raise your hand if you had all green. Liars. Liars. Okay, what's the purpose of the red, yellow, green? It's to increase your self-awareness. When they asked me what I wanted to talk about, I immediately saw social media and I wanted to jump on it because social media it's not really that old. It's new, it's young. And if it was around when I was in your age, when I was sitting in those chairs, I would have been screwed. I would have gotten myself in a lot of trouble because I have a very bad temper. I used to, not so bad anymore. But if I had that when I was a teenager, I would have been in big trouble. Because when you make bad decisions, back then it wasn't as visible. Now when you make bad decisions, it's all out there. And if you're not tweeting it, somebody else is. One of your not friends will tweet it. Has anybody here had somebody tweet something about them that they didn't like? Be honest, it's okay. We're not gonna like, it's all right. Yeah? Hopefully by nobody in here. All right. One more. Raise your hand if you've tweeted something about somebody else that wasn't very nice. Be honest. About that guy right there. All right. What are the dangers of this? Loud.
Other people can see it.
Other people can see it. Who can see it? I heard colleges. Do college coaches look online? Yeah. We're going to talk about sports specifically right now. Do coaches look online at what you're doing? Yes. Okay. How about employers? Yes. I'm going to tell you a story. I know a guy that applied for a teaching job at a school I used to teach at. I used to teach in Cambridge before I taught here. And that gentleman was right out of college. He was like 22, 23 years old. And they were going to hire him. And it was a film position. It was it was a history position, the old school. And they were going to hire him. And they Googled his name. And there's a YouTube video of him funneling beers at a party in college when he was like 19, getting hammered. with people doing bong rips in the background and people doing all sorts of crazy stuff. And his name is tagged in the video and it wasn't taken down. Do you think they hired him? Why? Why wouldn't they hire him, guys? Say it nice and loud.
Because anybody could find that.
If you're a student and you see your teacher getting hammered on YouTube, are you going to respect that teacher the same you would normally? No. Why not? What did we talk about earlier about talking and doing? Are you going to follow somebody that says one thing and does another? Is it fair? I don't know. It's an ethical question, but that's a legit story that happened 6 years ago. Cost a person a job. Do you think that person is going to be able to get rid of that video? Maybe if you pay there's lawyers that specialize in getting rid of incriminating evidence online. So you pay like $5 or $6 grand and maybe they were able to take it down. Just a little thing to think about. So think about the things you tweet out. Think about things you post. Think about it. The whole point of this is to make you think before you post. You guys know what Mad Libs are, right? We're going to do a Mad Lib. Does anybody here not like Mad Libs? You know Mad Libs, right? When you fill in the random words and like you mix a story? No. All right, there's two things on this paper. The first one's a Mad Lib. You can fill in the appropriate adjective, noun, and verb. And then there's a caption contest.
Oh, I want to win that.
Anybody here at Mr. Cunningham? So you're aware of the caption contest. Okay, so first things first, fill in the Mad Lib. After you do that, can I borrow that for Styles? Borrow that? When you're doing the caption contest, I want you to send out a positive tweet and a negative tweet. So two captions. One's positive, one's negative. Oh, by the way, you're the guest. You're the guest. You're not the knights, thankfully. Not a good night to be a knight, I guess. So I'll give you 2 minutes for that. Anybody get an okay Mad Lib? Anybody have a PG Mad Lib they want to share?
Allie does.
Allie, got one?
No, I don't.
No? I'll pick somebody. You got one? Let's go, gentleman right here. Let's see here.
No.
No? Katie, do you got yours?
Have a good one and then say.
Leo, here, you read yours. Here you go. Can you guys send it back? Is it going to be PG or no?
Yeah, it's funny.
You sure?
Yes.
Okay.
You have to be up to date on social media to understand.
This is trust, Leo.
I know.
I sometimes wonder why Nesta always wants to cuddle. It doesn't make sense. They should just stop instead.
Okay. Well, not yet. Well, that's just the Mad Lib. Doing a Mad Lib. All right, you got a Mad Lib you want to share?
Ryan Nesta is mad needy. I think that Ryan Nesta should go bowl and never jump his goldfish again.
Ryan Ness is being bullied right now. So something really simple and innocent, like those aren't bad. When you read it out of context, it could actually be taken totally differently. The whole purpose of this is to show you that text can be taken very differently from verbiage. So when you say something to somebody, who here is sarcastic? Who considers himself, a lot of us, right? It's a Northeast thing, we're sarcastic. I lived in Florida, there's no sarcasm down there. I tried to be sarcastic, people thought I was being a jerk, which I probably was, but. If you're gonna be tweeting things out that you may think is funny, a parent might read that, a parent might send that to the Milford Daily News. This team is mocking the other team, not only did they beat them by a ton of points, now they're rubbing their face in it. Tell you another quick story. JV, your freshman year, and Luis freshman year, they were playing for me on the JV team their freshman year, and we played Foxborough, right? We played at Foxborough. JB, what did I tell you when we were on the bus before we played Foxborough? Do you remember?
They were the best team in the state,
What did you think?
and we were gonna get destroyed.
Did you think they were going to be really good, right?
Yeah.
What happened?
We scored 5 goals in like 2 minutes and finished the game like 10-0.
Were they good?
No.
Okay. Why do you think I told them that? How you say something. I didn't say they were a bad team. I said they were the best team in the league. I said they were defending state champs and that they were out to kill us. The way you say something, what you say as captains, is going to affect the psychology of your team. So when you're playing a team that you know is a bottom feeder, that is not a good team, if your team knows that, they're not going to play hard. A big part of coaching is psychology. But as a captain, you're kind of a little bit of a mini coach. You can affect things the way your team plays. The reason I get into this, Foxborough lost to Sharon the very next game 21-0. In soccer, that's like unheard of. I've never heard of that score before. The coach got suspended for a week because the kids were celebrating, taking their shirts off on like goal number 19. Like, yay, we're up by 19. So the way you rub a team in like that, it can come back to haunt you. That's why I brought that up. It just reminded me of that. Cyberbullying, okay. We all know it was cyberbullying, right? Has anybody here been bullied before, ever, in their life? Bullied at all? I have. This is it? Just a few of us? Come on now. More of us than, it's okay, it's not a bad thing. Has anybody ever been a bully? I'm the only one in here? Be honest. This is it? Wait, keep your hands up for the bullies. Bullies in the crowd here. Former bullies, hopefully. Guys. Own it, Jack. So, what can we do about this? No, we don't kill Jack. What can we do about this? No, as a bully, what can you do? What can you do? Stop bullying. How do you stop bullying? Make good life decisions. You all have in your pockets an instrument which allows you to bully anybody at any time.
Cyberbullying is worse because 10 years from now, like somebody could pull up on all the awful things that people were saying about you, and they can see that you have done all these awful things to other people too.
So does it go away?
No.
No. Okay, consequences. Nuclear explosion. No, not nuclear explosion. Lost opportunities, guys. Lost opportunities. Who here wants to work in education? Anybody here want to work in education? Got a few teachers in here? If you do anything bad online, good night. I have a Facebook account. I use it to promote at a local store, and that's it. I don't use it for social reasons. I don't even have my picture on there because I don't want people to find me, and I'm very careful what I put up. My account is as private as possible. For a long time, it wasn't even my name because I didn't want anybody to find me, and I think I had like a really weird name, and it was like a picture of like a cat or something because I love cats. So whatever, I like cats. Raise your hand if you're a cat person, just random. Yeah, there we go, cat power. There we go, good, okay. Whatever, dog people, it's whatever, it's okay. Cats rule, dogs drool. Anyway, all these opportunities, they'll be gone if you do something really stupid. So it comes back to our first slide. Online decisions are bad decisions waiting to happen. Okay, so you all know what Chuck Norris is, right? I hope. Okay. I heard somebody say no. Uh-oh. It's okay. The best part I can tell you, right here. As a teacher, do you think it's always pleasant? Do you think kids are always saying the nice things? No. Do you think sometimes maybe things are said to me that I don't like? Maybe people are acting a little rude? What do you think the best strategy as a teacher is when you're dealing with a student like that? Initially. What is it? Walk away. No, it's honestly ignoring somebody's behavior in the beginning to make them stop is usually the best advice. New teachers, they come into a classroom, they flip tables. I may have done that. Throwing chairs, screaming. It makes people act more out. There's a great video of a woman telling a kid to shut the hell up. I don't know if you've seen that YouTube video. You've seen that? Oh my God. Shut the hell up! Shut up! And the kid is sitting there going, ha ha ha, in the background. Because it's just, they're not taking it seriously. When somebody tweets something at you or says something about you, if you respond to it, you're giving them what? You're giving them the what? Attention. Coach Todd talked about it yesterday. You're giving them the, what's the word I'm looking for? I heard it over here. Power. Say it nice and loud. Power. You're giving them power. You are. When they say something about you and you respond to it, you give it credence, you're giving them power. You're showing them that it hurts you. You're showing them it affects you. Even if you rag back on them and you say something nasty to them, you're showing them that it has an effect. There's going to be teams and players you go against. And I guarantee you, during the season, at least some of us are going to have things said about us online. You may not find out about it, but if you do find out about it, what's your best option? Ignore it. At the end of the day, if they're spending their time saying negative things about you, that tells you a lot about their free time. There's enough negativity out there. You don't need to feed into it, okay? One last thing I'm going to tell you. Oh, yeah, I do that too. Hold on. That's a great slide. We'll on that there. One last thing I'm going to tell you. Your phones are off. That's true. I'm really proud of you guys. Who did not turn their phone off? We won't make fun of you. It's okay. Be honest. See, we're trusting each other. I didn't think you did either. I'm very. One last thing. This isn't social media related, but I want to tell you one thing. So when I was a captain, we didn't have this. I wish we did. Because when I was a captain, I didn't expect to be a captain. I honestly wasn't a great soccer player. I was an okay soccer player. But when I got the captainship, I didn't really know what to do. I was like, okay, we'll do warm-ups and stuff. But I will tell you one thing. One piece of advice I was told one time, I don't remember who it was. It was one of my coaches. And they said, there's going to be a lot of people that tell you that you can't do something. You're not tall enough. You're not fast enough. You're not strong enough. You're not smart enough. Or you're not ready for something. And you have two decisions you can make. You can prove them right, or you can do what? Or prove them what? Wrong. Those are two decisions you can make. All right? Make the right decision. Thank you for being such a great audience, guys.
All right. Everybody else that's come out here has had to ask you twice. What's up? What's up? It's good enough. Dwight, what do we usually do to get motivated for basketball games? What do we do? Let's go! All right. I'll come back to that. All right. Clicker. Here it is. Get your notebooks out. Notebooks. Notebooks. What do you say? Notebooks. What do you say? Notebooks. Pen, pencil. What?
Feels like calc all over again.
I like your style. All right. What we're going to do first is a little trivia. Okay? We're going to do a little trivia. I want you to do this on your own. Okay? I have two sets of questions. 3 questions in each. Okay? They're pretty simple. First one. Who are the last 5 World Series winners? Phones away. Phones away. Shh. The last 5. Quietly. Masick. Eyes on your own paper. Yeah, it doesn't matter, I guess. Doesn't matter. Doesn't have to be in order. If you don't know one, that's okay. Just leave it blank. Love it. Easy. Next one. Who are the last 5 Heisman Trophy winners? Blake Hill. What is the Heisman Trophy? College Sport Award for football. Consider it your MVP. Last 5. Masick. How many times do I have to tell you? By yourself. You're dealing with a teacher here. Who's had me in class? Raise your hand. That's it? Man. Attaboy. Last one. Who are the last 5 MVPs of the NBA Finals? Dwight gave a fist pump because I asked a basketball question. Last 5 MVPs of the NBA Finals, not of the regular season, of the NBA Finals. All right, answers. By the way, when I ask you a question, I am a teacher, right? What am I going to ask you to do? Raise your hand. I will call on you. You will answer. Sound legit? World Series winners. Who wants to give me that answer? Masick.
The Giants.
Giants.
Red Sox.
Red Sox.
Cardinals.
Cardinals.
I think that's it.
All right, go in order for me now. See if you would be a little bit more impressive. Who was last year?
Giants.
Who was the year before that?
That's the Red Sox.
Year before that?
Giants.
Year before that?
Cardinals.
Year before that?
Giants.
Very good. It goes Giants, Red Sox, Giants, Cardinals, Giants. Give them a round of applause. Okay, raise your hand if you got all of those. It wasn't a question for you to ask out loud. I just said raise your hand if you got those correct. A couple of you. What about the Heisman Trophy winners? Jack. Last year. Mariota.
Was it Manti Te'o or Johnny Manziel last year?
Neither.
Did Winston win it?
Anybody else?
I got it.
Yes, sir.
Mariota, Winston, Manziel, RG3, Cam
Love it. Mariota, Jameis Winston, Johnny Manziel, RG3, and Cam Newton. One person got that? Yeah, the first one. You got 20%. It's not bad. All right, what about the MVPs of the NBA Finals? Dwight. Last year. Start with last year.
Last year was
Andre Iguodala is correct. Kawhi Leonard is also correct. LeBron twice is also correct, twice. Very good. Andre Iguodala, Kawhi Leonard, LeBron James, and Dirk Nowitzki. How many of you could get all of those? Love it. Who was your calculus teacher? I was. Next set. Ready? Question 1. Who are 5 teachers or coaches that have helped you succeed throughout your life? Now, I want you to do this by yourself, and I want you to put some thought into it, because I'm going to hand you the mic, and you're going to talk about it sooner or later. Oh, no. Next one. This should be a cakewalk. Who are 5 teammates you enjoy spending time with? You have 10 seconds. Last one. Name one of your captains from previous teams that you have looked up to the most. You haven't been captains forever. Might be your first year. Answers. Somebody raise your hand. Who would like to tell me about a teacher or coach that has made a difference in your life, has helped you succeed? You don't have to write a novel. I just want to know.
Mr. Gustavo was my little coach, like my coach growing up, and he taught me like everything. That was like the most influential point I think in sports. And his biggest thing was to never feel sorry for yourself when playing, and that stuck with I think everybody that played for him.
Love it. Anybody else? Roll back.
I'd say Coach Hill, Blake's dad, made me fall in love with football when we were younger.
Nice. Anybody else?
Coach Neely, he always he always tells me if I need any help, I can just email him about anything. So he's been really helpful for me in basketball.
Nice. Someone that you can rely on at any time. Anybody else? Pass it back.
I'm going to say my youth wrestling coach, Coach Dan, because he taught me how to deal with adversity.
All the way back to youth? Isn't that nice? How many years ago was that? Ish. 3, 4 years ago? There you go. Anybody else? All right. You don't have to tell me the teammates. If you had trouble getting 5, I would have been very surprised. Personally, if you're a 2-3 sport athlete, you should be able to name 20 to 30. all right? If you don't like spending time with your teammates, good luck, right? Everything that we've talked about, teamwork, all of that, okay? Last one, captain or leader, okay? Does anybody have one that they want to talk about?
Mine was Casey from my sophomore year. I always remember, I don't know if anyone knows what this is, but in cheering we do tucks. And I remember every time she did one, she would, if she didn't land it and like face plant, which happens all the time, she would always get right back up and do it every single time in the routine. And that was inspiring.
Nice. Anybody else? Go ahead. Go for it.
Loren Blanchard and Nikki Delgado, because they weren't just my captains, they would actually like, if I was like upset, they would like come to my house and pick me up and bring me to take, or go get ice cream or whatever. They were just always there for me, and they weren't just my captains at cheer, they were my friends too.
Nice. I had Loren, side note, I had Loren in class. I called her Lauren for 8 months. And then someone in class said, hey Loren. I said, is your name Loren? She goes, yeah, I told you in the first day, and then you just mixed it up again, and I never corrected you again. Oh, great, thanks. Awesome. Go ahead.
I'd say Mike Teitelbaum from the basketball team won the state championship. The way he played, the floor, he's diving everywhere. I like the effort.
Yeah. Love it. Over here. Pass it over.
I'd say from last year, Clarissa Miares. She's a good friend of mine off the field as well as on the field. And during lacrosse season, if there was any time during a game that our team would score, she would come over and give me like a little stick bump. Like that was just kind of our thing throughout the season that like kept my spirit up even if we weren't doing well.
Yeah. It's nice when a teammate acknowledges something that you do right, right? You take a charge in basketball, what should your teammates do? Pick you up. Same thing. All right. Next thing I want to do is just talk about what's the point? Why did I ask you this? You might not have realized it at the time, but why did I ask you one set of questions that relates to LeBron James, Cam Newton, all these professional athletes, you know, worldwide role models, and only a couple of you can answer their accomplishments. But then I ask you three questions that relate to this mystery person up here, okay? Somebody that means a lot to you, and you can talk about it for days. What's the point? Somebody raise your hand and tell me what the point is.
It shows how much you have an effect on your team. If someone from like a couple years ago that you remember now, it has an effect on you.
Mm-hmm. Anybody else? Nobody else? Here you go. Pass it back.
It shows like even those great athletes like haven't made as much of an impact on your life as like some of these coaches who've helped you out and like teachers who've helped you out and that you played with.
Yep, exactly. And that's exactly the point that I want to make is the people that matter to you the most, it's not LeBron James, it's not Cam Newton, it's not Dirk Nowitzki, okay? It's the people that are in your everyday lives that help you through difficult times. It's those people that are there for you. And the funny thing about it is it's not even, it's not even how they are athletically. It's like you remember all the little things that go on, okay? Years down the road, that's what you're going to remember. You're going to remember little things about people. And just for example, and they told me to call them out. I already did one with you, Dwight, right? What's our thing I did at the beginning of the speech? Yeah, the let's go. Let's go! That's it. That's what we would do before games. You get I would do it, and then he would do it, and then Dee would do it, Josh Andonian would do it, everybody would do it. Are you out of your comfort zone when you see me do it first? No, those are the little things that you remember. Dee, every time I walked into the locker room, what did you compliment on my attire? The tie clip. The tie clip. That's one thing that I remember. Every time I think about you, Dee, I'm like, he loved my tie clips. It's the best. It's the best. Jack, in class, tell me one thing on the spot. We haven't talked about this. On the spot, what do you remember about our class?
Playing basketball.
Playing basketball on the hoop. I love it. You want to know what I remember about our class? Our scavenger hunt in calculus. Don't tell Mary, Brian. Joe, don't tell Mary. Jack, I had you as a freshman. You want to know what I think about when I see you in the hallway? Just a nice kid. He's just a nice kid. That's how I remember you. How awesome is that? Right? How awesome is that? That's the important part. What I want to do next is I want to show you a video that Coach Emily showed us, or she sent it to us through email, and I watched it for the first time. And how many of you love country music? Okay, it has nothing to do with that. It's the first part of this country music video. Kenny Chesney? Yeah. Whoop whoop. All right. It's called The Boys of Fall. Now, what I want you to do when I show you this video, it's only about 2.5 minutes, 3 minutes or whatnot. I'll stop it. But what I want you to do is write down one thing that is said, or just think of it. I don't really care either way. Think of or write down one thing that is said that really hits you. Now, I could be way off, and I hope I am, but honestly, when I was in those seats as a 16, 17, 18-year-old, I didn't really get it, okay? And it's hard to explain what I mean by that. You know, I'm 9 years out of high school, and I'm just starting to realize that what you got yesterday and today, this all matters. This is awesome. Okay, everything, all the work that all of these coaches have put in, awesome. Okay? If you can walk away with something over these past 2 days, it could mean the world for you. I am so passionate about this. I love it. I love it. All right? I watched this video, and I sit here and I get chills. Because there's a couple things that are said that where I'm sitting here 9 years later, after being in your seat, 3-sport, captain, all of these games that I've played in, it's just amazing. It's amazing. And you don't really get it, in my opinion, until you don't have it anymore. So, I'll ask a couple of you to speak out. Come on. I know it was. Oh. Honestly, you could watch it like this.
27 years ago, I sat in this locker room.
It's all right, just watch it like this.
Ready to play a game. I walked down the locker room and it still smells the same. It takes you back real quick. One of the things that caught me was how fast 27 years goes by. There's so many people that live vicariously through you. I would give anything tonight to jump in one of these uniforms with you guys. That feeling goes away. It goes away, and it doesn't come every Friday night. It comes when you get married. It comes when your child's born. So you get it, but you just don't get it every Friday night. You're going to miss that more than anything in the world. That's what I miss. And so you seniors that are focused on college, you're focused on your work after high school, what you're going to do next, you're focused on tomorrow, aren't you? You've got plenty of time for them all. But these tonights, they're going by fast. You focus on tonight. This is about you guys. This is about the guys in this room that care about each other, that know there's only so many more of these nights left. It's about you. They're a faceless opponent. They just happen to draw the short straw tonight. Now get your asses ready to play. Win on three. 1, 2, 3, 1. I feel like you smell like
Frozen. Kenny Chesney. Whoop whoop. Good call. Anybody? One thing that was said that maybe just struck you a little bit more than everything else?
When he said you have plenty of time for tomorrow, so like focus on today. I thought that was cool.
Yep, it's true. It's true. Anybody else? Love it. Love it.
When he says that feeling comes every Friday night, so we're talking about football, but for everybody else it comes Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you don't get it again until you get married, so you have your kids, that's 100% true. So you should think about that, the way it makes you feel before a game, how important that is to you. Yeah.
Oh, you will miss it. And it depends on your season too, right? Football, how many games do you have? 11 in the regular season, is that what it is? So hopefully 12, 13, 14, I don't know how the playoffs work, all right? But you have 11 guaranteed feelings like that left, guaranteed, if you are a senior. Basketball, it's a little different, you got more games. Field hockey, how many games do you have? 18, all right? It's somewhere between 10 and 20. And believe me, believe her, you're gonna miss it. That is the thing you're gonna miss the most. You wanna know what the second best thing to that feeling is with sports? The closest that we could still get there is what? Coaching. It's what we do right now. Love it. Sit up straight. Love it. All right? Coaching. It's what we are doing now for you. So it doesn't pass you by like that, because it's going to. It's going to pass you by so quick. Before you know it, seniors, it's going to be May. You're going to be walking across the stage, you're going to be graduating, and you are going to miss it. All right? Understand that. So don't have any regrets. All right? What I want you to do right now is, we're going to end over there, right, Coach? All right, so take your stuff with you. Okay, don't leave anything in here. Do me a favor on the way out. Maybe grab something and put it in the trash can. But what I want you to do is not stand up yet. Okay? Clean up a little bit, bring your stuff. I want you to go into the gymnasium, and I want you to sit at half court. Why are we in here? Raise your hand. The banners. What about the banners, Zach? The history. Hi. I got you. Oh, I'll get to softball. That's exactly why we are in here, okay? You're in here every single day, maybe not every day for gym, but you're in here. How many of you actually pass up all of the tradition that's on the wall in here, okay? You got 1,000-point scorers, you got league championships, you got state championships, you have all of this up here. Honestly, I'm in here for practice during the season, and I don't look up at it every day. I wouldn't imagine you would, but I want you to do that right now, okay? Raise your hand if you are a part of one of these banners already. Emily, what are you part of here?
State champion, 2013.
Oh, I'm sorry, what?
Cheering MIA state champion.
State champion. Love it. State champions, 2013 over there. If you want to be on one of these banners, is it red or white? Look at all of them. What are the white ones? State champions, district, state, Super Bowl champions. Okay? If you notice that, the white ones are the states, the districts, the reds are the league champs. Okay? Anybody else? Go ahead.
Softball state champions, 2013. District champions, league champions, 13, 14.
Love it. You got a laundry list of them, right? Same thing? Same thing. Anybody else? Different sport?
Wrestling League Champions 2014.
Wrestling League Champion 2014. Love it. All right, it's crazy. I was telling Coach Emily, Coach Danielle about this. I have 2 banners up here. None on the white, of course, but 2 on the red. And it's funny because I'm sitting here thinking about what do I want to say. I want to take them to the gym. I want to show them the tradition. I want to show them the history, the culture, okay? It's so funny because I have 3 crazy lessons that occurred in this one right here, okay? Boys basketball. I graduated in 2006. League champs right there, okay? going into that season, we had 3 people on the team that had varsity experience. 3. Okay? You're all athletes here, you know. All right, you might have just came into your team as your seniors graduated, right? We had 3 people that had varsity experience. Okay? We're coming from a program that was very good at the time. Okay? Very good. Boys basketball, Milford. Top of the charts. Okay? All of the word that we would hear around town is, they might make playoffs. All right, they might make playoffs. They might get 10 wins. You know, hopefully they do. You know, they continue the run a little bit. Basketball guys, we've told you this story during practice. Do you remember what our record was? No. I'm sorry, what? 2006. What is it? It was 17-3. Okay? 3 people with varsity experience. We come into it. It's supposed to be a bunch of bums, right? Okay? We went 17-3. Why? How? How does that happen? Right? How does that happen? Somebody tell me. How does that happen? Raise your hand. Yes. Everybody wanted the same thing. Okay? Everybody wanted the same thing. What else? What did he talk about? What did he talk about? What did he talk about? What did she talk about? Yes? Passion, hustle. What are the other things that we talked about? Leadership, teamwork, communication. We didn't have Twitter. Luckily. Right? Those are the things, okay? But what's one thing out of your control that you need to have a banner up here? It's one thing that you need. It starts with a T, and it's out of your control. You need talent, okay? You need talent. But you know what? I work in this building. Good job. All right? I work in this building. I know we have athletes. Do we have the teamwork, the right teamwork? Do we have the right communication? In basketball, what are we always telling you to do on defense? Talk. Football, same thing. You need to communicate at all times. We had all of those. A bunch of bums coming in on Milford varsity. We went 17-3. There's lesson number 1. You don't need crazy talent. You need people that all have the same goals, that want to work towards the same thing. Right? Yes? Yes. Okay? Another lesson from that year, and it's somewhat of a negative one. You want to know how that season ended? Nobody knows how it ended. You actually might from hearing stories basketball, but throw it out there. We played at WPI against Westboro, who we played second game of the year, and we beat by 6. Okay, we're playing them. It's on a Sunday. 2 days before, okay, we have practice in this gym, okay? All of a sudden, our leading scorer isn't there. Where is he? Okay, where is he? Nobody knows. All of a sudden, an administrator comes in, takes our coach out. He got into a fight 2 days before our semifinal game, district title. Okay, granted, I will get his back on this one. He did not start the fight, but there's possibly a way, conflict resolution, right, coach? There's possibly a way he could have resolved that days before. Okay? If somebody attacks you, are you going to be able to back down? No. If someone attacks you, you don't really have a choice. Okay? You do that if you want, all right? But you're still in a fight. You could have resolved it days before. He averaged 16 points a game. We lost by 16 on Sunday. It's my senior year. Senior captain. The game that I love, okay? The game that I am so passionate about. That's how I ended my high school career. You don't let it happen. You can't. Right? What's the difference? What's the difference between possibly a state title for a bunch of bums that walked onto the basketball court, okay, compared to losing in the districts? Do you see a banner up here that has, oh, district semifinal loss? No, you don't. Okay? What's the difference? One bad judgment call. Whether it's a conflict, whether it's Twitter, something like that could ruin your season. Not saying it's going to be you, but it could be someone that's on your team that is very important to your team, and everybody's important to your team. Okay? You don't let it happen. You don't let it happen. Last example. This one's actually pretty funny. And it goes with teamwork. Right, there you are. Fantastic presentation. Goes with teamwork. You all right? You okay? You can go use the bathroom. Okay. Just letting you know. All right. First playoff game of that season, okay? We play Marlboro in this gym, okay? We beat them by 3. I had 3 points. Okay, I averaged 12 my senior year. I had 3 points. We won the game. Love it. I'm not a selfish player. Love it. Okay? I go on to school, Bridgewater State. Okay? One of my best friends that I met at school was on that Marlboro team. And one of the inside jokes that we have as best friends, and he always says it to me, oh, you know, TJ, you ruined my high school career. You know, you sent me packing. Always. Hey, Jim, want to hang out? No, you ruined my basketball season. No, it's an inside joke, okay? How many points did I have that game? 3. Does he know that? Does he remember that? No, I do, because of course I played, right? But what's your motto? Less about me. It's not about me. It's about we. Exactly. Nobody knows it but me. I could ask any of my teammates, hey, how many points did I have that game? They wouldn't know. Okay? You wouldn't know. All he knows is that we won the game. It's all that anybody's going to know but you. No one's going to look down on you if you didn't score. Do you want to be the teammate that has 30 points or 3 touchdowns or a grand slam or all of this but lost the game? Or would you rather be the player that has 0 points, goes 0 for 4, throws 3 picks, but wins the game? Which player would you rather be? The second one. Okay? It's all about the team. Okay? Now, I hope over the last 2 days you've got something from something that we've done, because we are all so passionate about it. I love it. I want it to be December right now. Right now. Right now! Okay? I want it to be. No offense to the fall sports. Okay? Thank you. Appreciate it.
So, this is that quintessential project adventure activity. I had more of these ready to go in my presentation, but I went over time. We didn't get a chance to do this. So what we're going to do is we're going to start a tradition right now, okay? As I told you, I plan to be here 45, probably about 15 to 18 years. And if they let an old guy be the AD, I'll go 20, 25, okay? I feel like I'm home. I didn't coach any of these banners. I didn't run for any of these. But I liked what our presenter said. I promise you, with the exception of my children, I would give up anything to play one more game. Anything. Anything. To put a uniform on and say, let's go. One more time. Just once. Take my car, take my house, whatever. But I would give it up, because that, you know what? We're competitors. That's what we do. We pursue excellence. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to time you. The old track coach is going to jump out here for a second. You, Coach, where's Coach? So, Coach Jay, we didn't even plan this. This is the funny thing. He had you draw a pig. I'm going to have you pass a pig, okay? I could not find a scarlet hawk, but I was able to find a pig and all my fun stuff, okay? So Powie's going to start us off. Here are the rules. Again, tradition, okay? Whatever your fastest time is, we are going to write it down. And I promise you, we will take that time, and how many juniors are in here? Trust me, I expect you to be back next year. I know we have one sophomore, which is incredibly impressive. Where is he? Okay. In my 22 years of coaching, I only had one sophomore captain. Kid went on to be a New England champion, went to school for free. No pressure, okay? But great people, okay? So here's what we're going to do. We're going to pass this in one direction, okay? The rules are really simple. You just have to pass the pig as fast as you can, okay? And again, I couldn't get a hawk. I apologize. That's all I could find, okay? His name is Bacon. We're going to pass him around, all right? I will say go, and when it gets to you, I'll stop the watch. I will write the time down when we're done. We'll see how, we'll see where we go with this. I'll write it down, and then that will be a challenge to next year's captains. Now, I'm guessing for those mathematicians in our group, you might say, well, Coach, there's 47 of us this year. What if there's 42 next year? My response is I don't care. I don't, okay? Because the people that are on the court are the ones that matter. I've always said to my teams, I don't care how many kids that track team has. I don't care how many kids that football team has. It matters how many kids that are good and prepared they have, okay? I've had teams that had 60, 70, 80 guys or girls. We played teams that had 20, and we lost. Numbers aren't always the way. It's the people that are prepared and ready to go. They've prepared to be successful. You ready?
Yeah.
You guys want to talk about it for a second, or?
Is there a strategy?
There could be. Whatever way you want to go. How many lefties, how many righties?
Yes. Oh, am I going?
No, you tell me when you're ready. Okay, I'll say go. One quick point of reference. You are to pass the pig. It's not a sledgehammer. Don't hit anybody really hard. Okay? Let's not hurt anybody. You ready? Are you guys ready? She's going this way. Like I said, she's going that way. I'm just checking to make sure you're paying attention. All right, so we're good? Which way are you going?
This way.
Okay. I'm going to say 2 commands. Set and then go. Set, go. The pig is on the move. Boom. 21.02 seconds. Okay? You know what did anybody notice anything? A couple things that were important that we have talked about. What'd you notice?
The quickest and cleanest handoffs for when you stay calm.
Yeah, just not going crazy, Coco the monkey, throwing things around, just passing, making sure we got it. What else did you?
I thought people were like picking it up once everyone started clapping.
Yeah, I heard the girls over here start. Again, teamwork, right? Encouraging your teammates. It absolutely picked up once it started to move here. Not that you guys were slow, but you could feel it, couldn't you? So I will ask you this. Is 21.02 good enough? No. You want to call it a day or give it another shot? Can somebody remember 21.02? I'm getting old. Okay? You guys ready? You gals ready? Good? We're good? Set and go.
Oh, right now? Oh,
No. I'll say, no. I want to make sure you have the commands. In track, it's a real big deal. Set and then go. I want to make sure you have the, so 2 commands. Set and then go.
Got it.
Set, go. Wow, 18.79. All right, so we'll make the rules right now. That's pretty impressive, by the way. I've done this a lot. This is the biggest group I've ever done this with, and most groups don't break 20. So you just broke 19. I'll give you a third shot. We'll call it baseball, softball, if you want it. I would not be terribly surprised if you don't break 18.79, but it's up to you. You want to keep it or you want to?
No, we're going to do it again.
Everybody agree? Okay, let's try. I like that. Somebody, was that you? Let's try, right? I like it.
Everyone come in closer together. Come in.
18.79. That's pretty huge. That was fast. I think there was a little energy in the clapping. All right, you guys tell me when you're ready. Uh-oh. You done called the girls out. That's not good. Just kidding. All right, we ready? So mathematically, what they do, you just close the gap a little, right? Okay? Not that I know anything about that, but all right, you ready? 2 commands, set, and go. All right?
Are you guys ready?
Set, go. Wow. 16.85. Nicely done. I've never seen anybody break 20, ever. Less people. My recommend, that was 3. We gave you the 3. I would keep that record. That's pretty darn impressive. So, I like the competitiveness. Listen, 16.85. Can we get a banner? The only school in the country with a Pass the Pig championship. Listen, just to finish up, it has been an honor. You know, this is the first time I've done this with high school. 2 days. These folks have been great. You have been great. This is the one thing I would say. Just work hard. Work hard. Include people. Never, ever let anybody tell you what you can't do. I know one of our presenters said that. I spent my whole life proving people wrong. 5'8½". You can't run. You can't wrestle. That's fine. Rock and roll. I'll meet you anytime you want. You know what I mean? Let's just get it done. Let's do it. And I promise you, I'll get the W. It's what you believe you can do and what you are prepared to do, physically, mentally. I used to love when people would say, I'm going to crush that guy. All right, that's good. Let's do it. You know, wrestling and track and stuff, not fighting. Okay, you don't get anywhere fighting. Okay, anytime, any place, anywhere. That's what Milford's going to be saying to people. Anytime, any place, anywhere. If you want to play us, just let us know where. We'll meet you, come here, whatever. But you guys and you ladies will determine how far we go. We have experts. We have some of the best coaches in New England, in my opinion, some of the best coaches in the country. And we will only get as far as you decide to take us, because the kids on your teams will follow you before they follow us, okay? They will follow your example before they follow our words. We can't lead by example anymore. We're either too old or we're not allowed to suit up, okay? So it's up to you. I think you've done a great job. You've locked in for 2 days. Take the rest of the weekend. We appreciate it. Thank you so much for everything that you have done.
Bring it up, let's go. Hands up, harder. Hands up, 1, 2, 3.
Nice.